Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. We are sitting as a committee of adjustment, and I'm calling this meeting to order at 2:00. Our committee has 5 members present, and we are in presence of not only our deputy clerk, but our senior planner. Welcome, Jennifer. This is your first meeting up here. A land acknowledgement statement. The Township of Hamilton is situated within the traditional territory of the Mississauga, Anishinaabe, and Chippewa nations, collectively known as the Williams Treaties First Nations. Our work on these lands respectively acknowledges the resilience and their long-lasting contributions to the area now known as the Township of Hamilton. Jennifer, if I could turn to you, please, for the explanation of our process here today.
Certainly, through you, Chairman Jib. The purpose of the meeting, we're convening meetings under the Planning Act for the Committee of Adjustment. We're holding public hearings under the Planning Act, RSO 1990, as amended. We're going to invite, the Committee of Adjustment is in session at 2:01. We're going to hear public meetings for 2 minor variance applications. The chairman will announce the planning application and I will provide a synopsis of the planning report. The planning report is available on the municipal website. After providing the summary of the report, the floor will be opened to the public. People can make themselves known to me. I'm the planning senior planner and the secretary treasurer of the Committee of Adjustment. The order of speaking will be as follows: those in support of the application, those persons in opposition to the application, those persons seeking clarification on the application, and the applicant. Please note that all persons wishing to speak to the application must address their comments to the chair. And we advise that before speaking, you must clearly and slowly state your name and address so that it can be included in the record of the meeting. Members of the committee can make comments or ask questions on the application, and the Committee of Adjustment may make a decision on the application, and their decision will include reasons for the decision. Those persons requesting a copy of the notice of decision must do so in writing to the secretary treasurer or sign the file sheet in the lobby. Please make sure that you sign the correct sheet. There's 2 out there. There's 2 different applications today.
Thank you. Item 4 on our agenda, confirmation of the actual agenda. Could I have a mover, please? Moved by Bruce, seconded by John. Any questions or comments? All those in favor of the motion? Carried. Thank you. Do we have any declarations of pecuniary interest in general nature thereof today? Seeing none, that shall be recorded. Item 6 on our agenda, approval of the minutes of our previous meeting. September 12th, Committee of Adjustment minutes. Could I have a mover, please? Moved by Bruce, seconded by Larry. Any questions or comments? All those in favor of the motion? Carried. Item 7, I see no business arising from the previous minutes. Item 8, new business, minor variance. It's a minor variance for Jim Barron, application A04-23. Jennifer, could I turn to you, please, and have the planning report on this application?
Certainly, through you, Chairman Jib. Notice of this application was circulated to all registered landowners within 60 meters of the subject property on September 19th, 2023, and a sign was posted on the property on September 20th, 2023. This application applies to a parcel of land located at 5949 Rice Lake Scenic Drive. The property is located on the south side of Rice Lake Scenic Drive, and it is set up from the road. The driveway, it rises in elevation, so the actual property is not visible directly at grade from the road. The applicants are applying to permit the installation of a pool closer to the road than the existing dwelling. The zoning section 25 of the township zoning bylaw requires that accessory structures and buildings be located behind the principal building. In this case, the property, the existing dwelling is set back quite a bit from the front property line, and there's a change in elevation as you go up the driveway, which allows for a plateau of land in the front of the house that makes an opportunity for a pool much more appealing there than it would in the rear yard. So the applicants are applying to permit the pool closer to the road than the main dwelling. The property is approximately 1.6 hectares. There's an existing dwelling which is located towards the rear of the property, and the proposed pool would be located over 60 meters from Rice Lake Scenic Drive. So it's set back quite a piece from the road, and it wouldn't be visible from the road. Surrounding land uses include shoreline residential uses along the southern shore of Rice Lake and residential uses to the southeast and west. Willow Bay Cottages, which is a recreation commercial operation, is located northeast of the subject property. The property is located in a settlement area which permits residential uses and accessory uses to that residential use, which would include a pool. The application is consistent with the provincial policy statement. The property is located in the designated settlement area and is appropriately developed. The property is not located on the Oak Ridges Moraine, so the Oak Ridges Moraine Conservation Plan doesn't come into play. It's consistent with the Northumberland County official plan, which once again identifies the property as being located in a rural settlement area, which is intended for residential development. The Hamilton Township official plan designates the property settlement area. It's in Harwood. The residential uses, accessory residential dwelling units, commercial and light industrial uses are all permitted. The existing single detached use and proposed accessory uses are permitted in that designation. The official plan contains policies regarding minor variances. And in considering a minor variance, it must be determined that the variance is minor, it must be desirable and appropriate for the use of land and maintain the general intent of the zoning bylaw and general intent of the official plan. And in considering whether a variance is minor, it's not necessarily a numeric value, it's impact. And in this case, the impact will be minimal because the lot is large, the existing dwelling is set back from the road. The pool won't be visible from Rice Lake Scenic Drive. And in this case, the dwelling will actually screen the pool from a lot of the surrounding residential uses. So I would consider the requested variance to be minor. Is it desirable and appropriate for the use of land? The residential use is permitted, an accessory pool is permitted. The impact on adjacent land uses is minimal. It maintains the intent of both the official plan and zoning bylaw, which permit residential uses on this property. So the application is consistent with the official plan. The only variance that is required is a variance to section 525(2), which requires that the pool be located behind the existing dwelling. So it's my recommendation. The application was circulated to the Ganaraska Region Conservation Authority, Hamilton Township Building Department, Hamilton Township Emergency Services, Northumberland County, and Hydro One. Building Department commented they have no objections. Ganaraska Region Conservation Authority commented they have no objection. There were no public comments received on this application at the date of at the time that I prepared the planning report. So it's my recommendation that the variance be approved. It's minor, there's minimal impact on adjacent properties, and it's consistent with the official plan, the zoning bylaw, and it is indeed minor. So that's my recommendation.
Thank you, Jennifer. I acknowledge that the applicant is with us today, and we will come back to you in a minute if you wish to either answer questions or make a presentation. We will go to the audience in the interim and ask, is there anyone present in support of the application? Is there anyone present in opposition to the application? Is there anyone present seeking clarification on this application? Coming back to you, Mr. Barron, would you like to answer questions from the committee if there are any, or would you like to make a presentation at this time? Thank you. Community members. Any questions? Committee members? No questions. All right. Could I have a motion then, please? Mark, please.
I'll make a motion to approve the application as presented.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder to that? Larry. Do we have any further comments or questions? Okay, all those in favor of the motion? Carried. Coming back to you, Mark, you did make a motion. Would you have some reasons you'd like to share with
Sure. I mean,
our staff?
there was no one in the audience that was opposed to the application. It met the 4 tests of a minor variance and as far as our zoning bylaw and our official plans. So is that all you need? Yeah.
Anything by the seconder to add? Very well. Mr. Barron, you will receive notification after the appeal period, but at this point in time, you have received your minor variance with conditional approval of the appeal period. Thank you. Our second application this afternoon is also for a minor variance. It's application A0523. And it's located at 5487 Front Street in Harwood. Jennifer, I could turn to you, please, for your planning report.
Through you, Chairman Gibb. Notice of this application was circulated to all registered landowners within 60 meters of the property on September 19th, 2023, and a sign was posted on the property on September 14th, 2023. This application applies to a parcel of land located at 5487 Front Street in Harwood, legally described as Lot 4, Concession 9. And the request is to permit a reduced front setback of 3.92 meters for 3 resort cabins on an existing tourist establishment existing tourist establishment. The applicants are applying to permit the reconstruction of 3 resort cabins with the reduced front setback of 3.19 meters instead of the required 8 meters. 2 of the existing cabins are currently legal non-complying structures, which means that they are already located closer to this street than the 8 meters that is required. The new buildings will be located with the reconstruction. What they're doing is they have constructed a foundation around the 2 of the existing structures, and the depth of that new foundation is about 14 centimeters, 0.14 meters, which makes the two legal non-compliant structures will be located closer to the road by 14 centimeters. And the remaining cabin that's in the middle, which currently meets the 8-meter setback, will be put in line with the other 2 established cabins. So that's the purpose of this application. The subject property is located on the south shore of Rice Lake. It's developed with a small resort containing numerous buildings, many of which are older and requiring upgrading. A small water course flows through the center of the property, and lands abutting the water course are regulated by the Conservation Authority. The owner began reconstruction of 3 cottages by constructing around the existing buildings, and construction has been halted pending this minor variance application. Surrounding land uses are a combination of residential, shoreline residential, and recreation commercial uses. And the subject property is located north of the Harwood Community Park and Hall. The Harwood the Harwood Fire Station is located about 200 meters southwest of the subject property. The property is designated settlement area in the official plan, and the settlement area policies do permit residential and commercial development. The growth plan for the Greater Golden Horseshoe, which was issued by the province under Section 7 of the Places to Grow Act, contains policies regarding growth management, and ordinarily applications within 120 meters of a key hydrologic feature, which would include Rice Lake, would require the completion of a hydrologic evaluation. But in this case, a hydrologic evaluation is not required because the application is facilitating the reconstruction of existing seasonal dwellings. The proposed variance will facilitate the redevelopment of the cottages on a recreation commercial property consistent with the policies contained in the provincial policy statement and the growth plan for the Greater Golden Horseshoe. The property is not located on the Oak Ridges Moraine, and the Oak Ridges Moraine Conservation Plan doesn't apply. The county official plan designates these lands as rural settlement area and is intended to be the focus of growth within the municipality, and the existing use is consistent with those policies. The Hamilton Township official plan designates this property as settlement area, and settlement areas are to be the focus of residential, commercial, and community facility growth. So the existing seasonal or tourist establishment is a permitted use in the settlement area designation. As I mentioned previously, the official plan contains 4 tests for a minor variance. The variance must be minor. The variance must be desirable for the appropriate development and use of that land, maintain the general intent of the zoning bylaw, and maintain the intent of the official plan. The property is developed with an aging resort, and the owner has initiated redevelopment, starting with 3 cottages associated with this application. 2 of the cottages are legal non-complying structures because they don't currently meet the 8-meter setback requirement of the zoning bylaw. Right now, cottage 14, as illustrated on the figure attached to the planning report, cottage 14 is currently 4.36 meters from the front setback, and the requirement or the requested variance is 3.92. Cottage 16 is 4.06 meters, requested variance of 3.92. And cottage 15, which is the cottage located between 14 and 15, is currently set back 8.31 meters. So it does comply with the current setback requirements in the zoning bylaw. However, the applicant wants to construct it in line with the other 2. So the requested variance there is 3.92 meters. So with respect to impact and whether the variance would be considered minor, 2 of the 3 cottages will be located only 14 centimeters closer to the property line than the existing dwellings, which is pretty minor. They will be larger than the existing. However, it is a pretty nominal encroachment into the existing front yard. Is it desirable and appropriate? Well, this application will facilitate the redevelopment of an aging resort, which would be of a benefit to the community and improve the current situation. It maintains both the intent of the zoning bylaw and the official plan, which permit this form of development on the property. The application was circulated to Ganaraska Region Conservation Authority, Hamilton Township Public Works, Hamilton Township Building, Hamilton Township Emergency Services, Northumberland County, Hydro One, and Parks Canada. Public Works commented that they had no objection. At the time the report was written, I had not received the Ganaraska comments. However, I have subsequently received them. They have no objection. However, they do note that the original permit that they granted for the reconstruction of these cottages had indicated that they weren't going to be enlarged. Since the cottages are going to be enlarged, they will require a new new permit from the Conservation Authority. However, they have no objections to the proposal. No, at the date that the report was written, and I have not received any public comments with respect to this application. It's my understanding that there have been some concerns expressed to other staff members, but I have not received any public comments. So the requested variance will facilitate the reconstruction of 3 cottages on an aging resort property in Harwood. There will be a minimal increase or decrease in the front yard setback of 0.14 meters or 14 centimeters. It has been, it's my recommendation that the application is consistent with the 4 tests of for a minor variance, that it is minor, that it's desirable and appropriate, that it maintains the intent of the official plan and the zoning bylaw.
Thank you, Jennifer. Just for the record, is our applicant or agent with us today? Thank you. We will go through the same process as the asked application. We'll seek out the audience and certainly come back to you, sir. Is there anyone present that is in support of the application? Is there anyone present in opposition to the application? Is there anyone seeking clarification in the audience? Seeing none, that shall be recorded, sorry. To our applicant, agent, possibly, would you like to make a presentation, or would you like to field questions from our committee members? Okay. For the record, could you indicate your name and whether you are the applicant or whether you are the agent?
Sure. Good afternoon. My name is Gil Scholier. I'm the owner of the company who owns the resort.
Thank you. In my notes, I have your last name with a C in one spot and without a C in one spot. Is there a C present?
SHCO. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And we'll see if the committee has any questions. Committee members, questions for our applicant? Yes, John.
Through your chair, not the applicant, but for our planner. That water course that's spoken in the documentation, is that behind? It's like that's the ditching between Front Street and the cottages?
No, it goes through the property.
On a north-south direction?
Yeah, it flows through the property.
And that's nowhere near the fronts of the cottages.
No, the Conservation Authority has no concern with respect to the variances, as they were going to be located further away from the encroachment is going closer to the road than the existing dwellings.
Thank you.
Anything further, John? I'll go around the room. Larry? Over to the south side of the room here. Questions or comments?
The use of the cottages, will it be similar to what they're used now? Like, will it be just summertime use, or will it be
Tourist commercial accommodation.
just summertime? Yep, sorry,
Summertime.
Yep.
Seasonal.
seasonal.
May 25th to 75th.
Oh, great. Okay, thank you. Because I asked that because there's ice fishing and so forth going on Rice Lake now. So I didn't know whether you planned on having winter type use, but
Eventually, we're going to try to achieve some of them. The other cottages, they all need a repair. They're all in a bad condition. We already got a building permit for the other cottage. It fall apart, it was unsafety. So we got a building permit, and this building permit, it's for seasonal cabins as well. But we would like to do 4 or 5 cabins, but going to be not seasonal. And see if it will work with the ice fishing and the winter activity.
if it freezes again.
Anything further, Mark? Bruce? Larry, please, come back to you.
Through Mr. Chair, Jennifer, was there any feedback from Parks Canada or the Trent River, Trent Severn?
No, I received no comments from them.
Interesting. Okay, thank you.
I have a couple of questions. I'll start off with our planner. Although I wish there was a different map on the screen, I believe it's the center cottage being cottage 15. Yeah, I am of the opinion that that cottage has been totally removed. Number 15 itself, as we see on this map, has been totally removed. Did our site visits establish that?
When I went for the site visit, I saw the foundations around 14 and 16, and I don't recall seeing 15. And given that the proposed foundation would appear to go through cottage 15, I believe that you are correct that it has been. I guess I was paying particular attention to the 14 and 16 and when I was looking at those.
If we are correct, and I believe we are from my site visit as well, that 15 had, the old existing cottage on 15 was totally removed. Has it lost its legal non-complying status?
Lot 15 didn't have any legal non-compliant status because it was already located more than 8 meters from the road.
Very well, then maybe we could locate this microphone to convenience both of us. In the case then of the planning report, the variance that's being requested down to 0.44 meters or referenced as 0.44 meters. Does it need to be reflected differently in the absence of the foundation on 15?
No, because the variance that is being granted is a variance that would allow for a 3.92 meter setback from the front lot line.
Okay.
For all 3 cottages.
Turning to our applicant, thank you. Turning to our applicant and owner. Did all 3 of these projects start without building permits?
No, we received a building permit to build a foundation. Each of the cottages that are there, all 14 or 15 of them, has a building permit in place to construct a foundation under the existing cottages.
So the project that we're seeing with relocated foundations, enlarged foundations, does not have a building permit.
The wood frame cottages, cabins that we're starting to build does not have a building permit. The foundation has a building permit.
Building permit for a different size foundation in a
No.
different location.
No, it has a building permit under the old existing cottages.
But we don't have any of those here in front of us. We have foundations increased in size, changed in location, and reducing front yard depths.
You are correct. That's why we are here and asking for a relief for the variance to be approved.
So the end result is you did start a project that you did not have a valid building permit for.
You can call it as it's for you.
Yes, that's what I thought. This committee does not deal with building permits. This committee deals with the application that's in front of it that has planning support. However, in the various positions that I've held in this municipality, I am extremely concerned when this committee has to deal with projects after the fact. And I'm not so sure, as far as my fellow committee members are concerned, that they don't feel the same way. However, the matter is that you have agency approvals, you have planning department approval, and you have an application to legalize what is actually physically on the site. And I turn to my committee members and say, any further comments or questions? Would anyone like to make a motion, please, on what's before us? Larry?
Well, I suppose we're gonna make a motion to approve this application based on the information that we've been provided.
Is that an actual motion that you're making, Larry? You
Yes,
got
it
it in
is.
a bit of a question there.
That is an actual motion that I'm giving. Yes,
Thank you, Larry. Do we have a second to that motion? Bruce, seconder? Do there any further questions or comments? All those in question, Bruce? That would be correct, and I'm sure our building department is more than aware of this site and and certainly aware of the process that our applicants will have to follow. So if you would like me to defer that to staff, I will do so, but Larry, please.
do I understand that there's stop work orders on this already? Is that correct to the staff?
Thank you. For those that don't know me, my name is Tim Geronimus. I'm the manager of development services and the chief building official for the township. We didn't end up moving forward with a stop work order because we were able to work with the owner / applicant. They just ceased construction when we talked with them, but there will need to be engineering review because the foundation was not reviewed by staff prior to pouring of footings. So there will be some extra work involved in gaining approval along with this minor variance.
As long as that's the case, that's great. Okay, thanks. So we are approving this as a motion to what the planning department has presented to us with regards to the setbacks. And
Correct. That would be the intent.
that's what the intent of this motion is then. Thank you.
It's been moved, it's been seconded. We've gone around the floor once. I'll do it again. Any further questions or comments? All those in favor of the motion? Carried. Thank you. Reasons by the mover and the seconder, please, for the motion.
As stated by the planning department, that this meets all the 4 tests of the variance. And that there has been no objection from any of the audience, either for or against. And I believe the intent is to move forward with this application as stated.
Thank you. Thank you. Anything follow up from the seconder? Seeing none. Oh, Bruce, do you have another question? Thank you. That's sufficient, Jennifer?
That's sufficient.
Very well. You have received initial approval for the minor variances. You will receive notice in the mail or email. There is an appeal period. No work can commence legally until the variance is complete and the appropriate submissions have been given to the building department. I trust that's clear. Do you have any questions for us?
No, thank you very much for the approval.
Thank you. Okay. Oh, I thought we did. All those in favor? All those in favor of the previous motion?
Oh, I thought they had.
I thought they had. Yeah, we had.
Oh,
We voted twice.
it's clear though. We voted.
So just want clarity.
Okay, moving on. We have no other applications. Item 9 is new business. Not just sure why we have that right there, but anyway, any other business? Seeing none, would anyone like to move for adjournment, please? Move by Mark. I'm sure we don't need a seconder, but if anyone would like to, please raise your hand. You can pick a name, Jennifer. Thank you, one and all. This meeting is over.